Alright, today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the AC compressor on a 2003 Acura TSX Type S, so the 2.0. This will be a little bit different from the other one. Just a base model, I think. Not by that much. It might be similar in design. It's been a while since I did one of these, so shouldn't be too much. Before you start anything, make sure that you get your refrigerant evacuated. So I got both of those evacuated, recovered those into the machine, and then when you do provide this service, I recommend replacing the valve stems right here. And you can get that tool, you can get it at your auto parts store. They'll sell a little kit for about like $4 to $8. And you'll just replace that, or you can get like the big kit, the compressor kit. Unless you're buying it online, they won't sell that, but if you get it at your auto parts store, they'll give you those valve stems in that. But since I have a whole bunch of those I buy them in bulks. All right, needless to say, if you haven't already, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And we'll go ahead and start this video after the intro. All right, first things first, we got to jack up the vehicle. All right, so jacking up point, I jack it up from the front. Make sure your emergency brakes are on and that you have some wheel chucks in the back. Subframe, make sure you reinforce your setup with some jack stands. Put that right there on the subframe. Those are your most crucial spots. Then, if you guys have a small jack, I wouldn't recommend putting it up too high, just because we might have to lift up the motor just a tad bit. It's like I said, it's been a while since I did one of these, and I forgot how to do it. It's been maybe 4 years or 5 years since I've done one of these compressor jobs. But we'll see. We might need to drop the subframe or just a tad bit. So all right. We got to go ahead and take off our plastic cover. So right here, we got to take that off. So normally there'll be some clips to pop off, but this one's missing a whole bunch. So normally they'll look like this. So right here, so we'll go ahead and pop those off. You don't need to take them off all the way. We just need to pop them off till about right here to this one. So this will be your last one. So take off that one, that one, that one, that one. We got to take off this one. And there should be one right there too. And the same thing for right here. To take off your wheel, you're gonna need about I think it's a 21 millimeter. These had aftermarket lug nuts, so they're a little different. Then you would have this one to take off, and there should be one more right there. So we would go ahead and pop those off with the flathead screwdriver. Once I'm done doing that, then I'll get right back to the video. So next, we're gonna go ahead and take these off. Now, the reason why we're gonna take these off, just so we can take off the little 10 millimeters on the hose. It'll make it a little bit more easier when we get down there. So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I think you're gonna have about, let's see, a couple 10 millimeters right up here. So all we need to do is just get this guy loose and move it over to the side. So we're gonna go ahead and take off just this 10 millimeter right here. So 1, 2, I think there might be one right here. And then we'll go ahead and pop this guy off right there. We'll leave on the hood latch. I don't think we need to take it off. And then I think there might be like a little cable or something. Yeah, there is a cable. So we'll probably loosen up the cable a little bit once we get up under. And yeah, there's a cable. We'll pop these guys right off, so just like this. So we'll basically squeeze these, push them in, and that'll make it easier for the cable to come right out. So we'll just squeeze those so we can reuse those again. And then the cable would be separated from there. And then you would go ahead and just push down. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take these off, take off those 10 millimeters, and yeah. Then we're gonna go ahead and take off this bolt right here. Totally forgot there's one right under. So you see right there. It's gonna be a little bit more pain in the butt to take off. So we're just gonna at least pull it back so we can just at least sneak our arm right in there and then move the recovery tank. Next, on the cable, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna pop off those little clips. The same thing how I showed you with these guys. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So there's one right there. And then there's the second one right there in the middle, but that one was already broken off. And then there's the third one on the bottom where we took off that 10mm on the bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off right now. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead and take off this connector. This was on something, but it's already broken. So we'll just go ahead and open this tab, separate it, and then just go ahead and set this aside, and we'll leave it right there. Be careful with the positive terminal, put a rag or something, or disconnect the negative. Then what else we're gonna go ahead and do, we're gonna unbolt this recovery tank right here. We'll take off this 10mm. So we have one more 10mm right here down below. Let me see. So it's like literally right, there's like a little hose right there. And then that's where, you see where that little hose with the nipples at? The clamp right there, that's where the other 10mm is. Let me go ahead and take that off. Alright, so now that we got this loose, what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and pull this hose right here away from the nipple. Be careful that you don't break the radiator. We'll pull that up, and then this guy should lift right up. So right here, this is where that 10mm is, sitting it right above this. We're going to have a little bit more easier access to get in here. So next, we're going to go ahead and release the tension on the belt. So we're going to go ahead and lift up this reservoir right here. We'll push it to the side. Let's see if you can see that. Then right there, so on that guy, we're going to go ahead and take that off. Well, not take it off. We're going to release the tension. That's going to be a 14mm. And then you're going to turn it clockwise, so we're going to push it this way. And then once we do that, we'll go ahead and be releasing the tension. Then I'm going to go up under the vehicle, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the belt, and then I'm going to put the belt back up on here. So right here, we're just going to pull this belt from the AC. We'll just slide this right out the way so it'll make it easier. So we'll just leave that just like that. And then we'll come up on top, and then we'll pull this belt right up high. And then we'll put this belt right under. So this makes it easier for us to install. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and take off those 10mm. See why I took it off the reservoir? Because it's very easy to get to at this point. So we're going to use an extension and just a 10mm to take off those 2 bolts. Alright, so this is how we're going to have our setup. A couple extensions. Just like that. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. Now remember, you can't mess this up on putting the hoses in the wrong place. So I mean, the hoses are like literally directed to the port. So just go ahead and grab a magnet, grab those those bolts, just like that. Anytime you take off that compressor, you need to replace those O-rings too as well. So later on, we're going to get some O-rings. Alright, so I'll go ahead and pop this sucker right off. And we'll pop this one right off. Now the reason why these made a noise is because I recovered everything, so they're usually not on there pretty tight, so they should just slide right off. Alright, so next we have a little connector. So coming back up under the vehicle, so normally this guy should be like zip tied in right here just to prevent any vibration, but it's not. So we're going to go ahead and same thing, push down this tab and then pull back, and then we'll just go ahead and lift this cable right up on out the way, just like that. Now the compressor is going to have 4 12 millimeters. So there's one right there, there's the second one right up there, there's the third one, and then there's the fourth one right there. So those are all 12 millimeter bolts. Again, this is a good way to access it from up top. I can take off those bolts from the bottom, but it, like I said, it's just more, it makes it a little bit more easier for you. So we are going to have to take off the fan. So we're just going to take off those two 10 millimeters. There's going to be one right here. And then the other one is right here. That should be it, yep. And we'll go ahead and, there's like a little connector on the bottom. We got to go ahead and take that off. The connector was right here. So on the other side, you just press it and then pull it. Now remember, you got to pop off these little clips on the bottom. But these were missing. Now, the sucker should just come on right out. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and replace our O-rings on our lines. And now one thing I forgot to mention since we're doing this, make sure you try to cap these off if you're going to let this sit more than like an hour max. If you're going to let it sit more than an hour, you need to block these off, because if not, your receiver dryer will collect too much moisture and then will restrict your cooling performance too. I already replaced the receiver dryer. It's right under the battery tray. It's just a 10 millimeter and you can use an adjustable wrench. So we're going to go ahead and replace these O-rings. So when we're replacing these O-rings, we want to lubricate these. If we can get this. So I'm using the PAG oil. You can get these containers at Harbor Freight. I've been having them for a really long time. So we just want to lubricate this O-ring. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other one. Make sure you match the size because they're both different sizes. Don't try to put one that's bigger than these size. Usually they're green O-rings. Or no, they are black from the manufacturer. And then the aftermarkets will be green. Alright, so here's our brand new compressor. Now usually they will come with the tag. The compressor comes pre-charged with 3 ounces of oil. Alright, perfect. So we're going to see how many ounces that they normally take. Usually they take 3 to 5 ounces, but I'm going to double check and I'll get right back to the video. So I double checked. It takes 5.5 ounces. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take off this side. It's a 10 millimeter. So these are little caps that keep dirt and keep this sealed. Now these will pop usually. So keep this guy right on and it should make a, yeah, so how you hear the air sound. So sometimes they're actually pretty intense. So I've
usually got somewhere it's pretty sketchy. As soon as you start loosening, then it pops right out. So I recommend leaving it on the bolt, and then as you loosen the bolt little by little, try pulling the cap and then see if it hisses right out. Save this cap, put this aside, make sure you flip it upside down so no dirt gets inside of it. So I'll put it back on top of the box. Then we're gonna go ahead and fill up this side right here. Again, I'm using the this little container. If you can find something that's pretty precise on the ounces. So again, I filled this up to 2.5 ounces, because again we need 5.5 ounces, and this already came pre-filled with 3 ounces. And we're gonna fill it on this side, where the motor is at. All right, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and just cap this right off. I don't think we need a... We'll bolt it on just in case. I'd rather be safe than sorry. All right, so now we're ready for the install. I'm gonna start up from up bottom. Again, just because of since the camera's in the way. Because this should have a little latch right there. And then you should be good. It should hold itself right in. So yeah, I think you should start off with the bolts on the bottom first, just because one of them might be hitting the subframe. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put in our hoses. So when you put them in, make sure you spin them in. Don't force them down, don't bolt them down. Make sure they spin in. If they don't spin in, they're gonna leak. So you see how that's right there? It's not fully seated in. So you gotta spin them in until they seat in. Then you can bolt them down all the way. Alright, we're all set and done right there. We're going to go ahead and connect our bottom piece. And we'll just leave this hanging right down below. Put in our fans next, or just one fan. But before we do that, make sure that these little nipples right here get inserted down below, and these guys right here. So make sure that they get inserted, and make sure that your wire is not in the way. So we're just going to push that to the side. All right, then I think we should do it right now. Might as well. We're going to go ahead and connect our fan connector. So we'll connect this guy right here. Do that right now. Make sure it clips just like how you heard that. What else? What else? What else? Now we're going to go ahead and put in the reservoir. just put this in right now. So it will be actually easier. I think it'll be easier if you take it off when the this piece is not on there. Just kind of figure that out. All right, so now we're ready to put this sucker back on. So I was having some fitment issues. So what I had to do is I had to loosen up these bolts just a tad bit, just so I can get these guys started on the thread. So this is that bolt that I was telling you about. Alright, so we got that on. You basically put on your plastic. I'm not going to put that on right now because I got to fix the power steering leak later on. I'm just only worrying about this job. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and route the belt. So we're going to go ahead and put this right over. And at the same time, I'm going to be grabbing up top from the tensioner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off some of the slack from the power steering. I'll show that right up later right now. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to guide this in. So we just want to guide this piece in. All right, so we got that in. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and release the tension. So we're going to go clockwise. All right, so we got the belt on. It was sliding off from the water pump, but we got it on, so I was able to sneak my hand right down right there, put it on. Make sure that your belt fully seats in like this and that it's not hanging off the lip. Now we're gonna go ahead and, so normally what you want to do is you want to create vacuum. You want to vacuum out the whole system. You get a vacuum pump. I'm gonna replace these valve stems. You can buy like a little assortment kit, and then they will come with vacuum stems. Remember, we got to replace those, because if not, these ones are already leaking, because I could hear them leak. All right, what else? So yeah, so once we get that, then after that we will basically vacuum the whole system for about 10 minutes. If you have like a little gauge, then that will let you know if you have any drops in the system, like any leaks. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna show that part. It's because I have the machine. So yeah, and then fill it. I think it's 1.5 pounds for this vehicle. Make sure you double check on your own. I'm going by what I saw. So I had 1.5 pounds. Again, you double check on that. I think it was 1.2, but I gotta verify again before I do anything. But if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And thanks for watching.